Minasan, yokozo. Kyo wa watashi tachi Xbox to tabemono o hanashimasu ne. Genki. Okay, so basically, I just said today we're going to talk about Xbox and food. That's a bit of the Japanese that I learned when I was living over there. I took 2 Japanese classes. But back to the topic at hand.
Very nice.
I went ahead and did the intro here. Our co-host here, Token and Porkenstein.
Howdy, howdy.
What's up?
Is a regular member of Boom's podcast now. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, he kind of dropped that bomb. I didn't think after 2 shows, yeah, he would ask, but I mean, it's really great people on that cast. I think Friday we had some really awesome conversations. So and Boom's just an all around good dude. You know, like he preaches, you know, follow the golden rule, you know, treat people, you know, how you want to be treated and treat them good, and you'll get kindness and love back yourself. So that's definitely somebody I can get behind and would love to be in that community. So it's an honor. It really is. I never thought I'd be a Boom panel member.
It's pretty crazy. I've been watching him for a bit.
Yeah, same.
And to see a good dude I've been playing Xbox with for past 3 years now as a regular panel.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to see that. So
oh god, bro, it has been like 3 years. It has been like 3 years since we started being in the chat together. That's crazy.
Yeah, we all met in the Windows Central Discord. RIP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. We go back to.
So, been a week. We talked about Hellblade last week. Talked about some Celtic food. What are y'all playing?
Well, if I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead, Q.
I'll start. It's still Fallout 4. It's probably going to be Fallout 4 until Tuesday. And then after I finish the game that I start on Tuesday, if I'm not finished Fallout 4, it'll be me going back to finish Fallout 4. I'm all encompassed in Fallout. I've said this multiple times already.
Are you any closer to finding your son?
So I actually started doing the main questline missions.
Okay.
But then, like, you know what it is? The side quests are so good that like I don't feel like I necessarily have to go.
They are. And
like focus on the main quest. Like I'm just enjoying doing the side quests. Like I just finished the Cabot House quest line. And
oh, nice.
That was really dope. Like just it being a side quest and you go into I don't want to spoil anything, but you go into the dude and then him wanting you go to the insane asylum and do what you gotta do there, like that's a quality storyline just for it to be some throwaway. I walked up to a building and some person was there and started talking to me, and then they were like, yo, go do these couple things for me. Like I love how much the side quests are like very in depth, and they're not just fetch quests or go to this point and pick this thing up quests.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. I would say for me, pretty much Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's all I was in Portland the last week on vacation, so I really haven't been able to game all that much this week. So yeah, just pretty much Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's double XP weekend. Been grinding, getting all my family members leveled up to where I want them spec wise, or perk wise.
And if you want to watch him be somewhat good, somewhat terrible at it, he did a
yeah, that is true.
Stream last night on Xbox Talks. So check that. I wanted to check it out because I'd never actually watched gameplay for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I know last week I said I was going to download it. I'm sorry, I lied. I probably won't.
It's all
at
good.
least for now. But it was interesting watching you play and seeing like the dynamic. I think the dynamic between the two teams, the like victims and the family, is really cool.
Yeah, and I had to do it on that channel, which I told you guys offline. I did receive a review code for it. That's why. So I am obligated to play it under the Xbox Talks channel, because the code I used is for for review purposes for that channel only. So that's the only reason why I would have played it on here. But like I said, yeah, I have obligations that I can't break, unfortunately.
That's fine. just put the link in after we finish putting the thing.
Yeah.
So people might want to watch it, because I watched it, I enjoyed it, and you'll hear him talking to me a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll go ahead and do
What
that
about
now.
you, Gold?
Yeah, what are you playing, bub?
Wrapped up in credits on Sandland. Really recommend that game. A lot of fun. Vehicle combat story, especially if you watch it with the anime. It really fleshes it out. They complement each other. So that was a cool experience. Toriyama delivers again.
R.I.P.
I recently rolled a new character in Warcraft. They're doing a remix of Mist of Pandaria, the 4th or 5th expansion, something like that. And trying out a new class on controller, console port, the Hunter. Ooh, dude, the Hunter class works really well on controller. I really wish I'd rolled that earlier. I feel like it's more fun than the Monk on controller. And lastly, I got Pac-Man fever, and I'm losing my mind. I've been playing the shit out of Pac-Man Megatunnel Chomp Champs, and I'm finally in silver rank, and I got like an 82% win rate. I haven't lost a game in the last 8 rounds.
Oh damn, that's good.
So, nice.
I went. I did elimination first, and I was winning. I go, let me try because with Overwatch, you're like, oh, cool, quick play. If I'm doing really well in quick play, and then you go in the competitive, and you're like, no. But with Pac-Man, with Pac-Man, that old 10-year-old at the arcade's coming out saying, hey, you can do it, and I'm doing it. So I'm pretty. Oh man, I'm sitting there dancing every time I hit first place, like this jazz, and I decided to wear my Pac-Man shirt. So that's what I've been playing.
Nice, dude. That's awesome.
Nice. Gold, how many wild characters do you have? You said you just rolled a new character. I know we talked a little bit briefly before. Like, how many do you have?
I don't do a lot of alts, and I do usually one playthrough. This is one of the first games I've actually done a second character. So I have a level 70 monk that's a dwarf, and I leveled him back when Dragonflight first came out. And right now I'm leveling up a Worgen, basically a werewolf character in WoW, a Worgen hunter, which you can basically shoot arrows and drop a lot of dots, damage over time, and you have pet options and stuff like that. And I've been leveling him so that I can get ready for War Within, which I believe is coming out in September. So hopefully Game Pass includes the WoW subscription, but I'm not holding my breath.
I just want to see what it is. I'm definitely going to at least watch the like cinematics for War Within, because I may not be a WoW player, but like I said, when I watched the presentation, Chris Mezzin just made it seem so awesome. Even though I'm not a fan of I don't play the game at all. I was like, oh, he made it seem like this is gonna be dope.
I made that meme of him going epic, real epic. Apparently it made it on Giphy, and Roman told me, he goes, hey, your GIF's actually on Giphy now. And I go, yeah, I made it. So
nice.
Nice.
He's so quotable, and his energy, man, that's one of the reasons I put him up there. I know a lot of Bethesda guys. Oh, I meant to talk about this on the Blizzard podcast. There's a lot of Bethesda guys call God Howard. So Todd Howard is their kind of upper echelon when it comes to creators. Mine's Chris Mezzin, and I like to call him Christ Mezzin.
Very suiting.
Yep.
Nice. So yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to take us into the next topic, Gold, or yeah.
We'll. Okay, let's talk Tango.
Okay.
We got a couple topics today. We're going to talk about Tango. We're definitely going to talk about Assassin's Creed. That's going to Japan finally.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be interesting. Around the time Ghost of Tsushima comes to PC, we'll see how it works, because I think Ghost of Tsushima fulfilled what people wanted from Assassin's Creed, but we'll get into that. And then we're going to talk about Square going multi-plat.
Long time coming.
Yep. Can't wait for that.
Square fully going multi-plat is
food.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
Thoughts of Tango. I guess I'll go ahead and start.
Okay. Yeah.
Still kind of bummed out. Still kind of bummed out and bitter they were shut down. Koken and I have already had conversations about it in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me. He goes, "Are you just gonna let them stay open, and then wait for Hi-Fi Rush 2 to go to, or Hi-Fi Rush to go to Switch?" Well, no, but if that rumored JRPG was going, I mean, could have just had them all go full-fledged. But
apparently it wasn't.
Well,
that might be that's what the problem was, speculatively.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo was one of those games that, oh man, I went to Tokyo quite a bit. Every weekend, went up to Tokyo, especially at night. And Ghostwire Tokyo captured that, dude. I mean, I felt like I was back. Not only that, but back in Japan when the earthquake hit, because the streets were eerily quiet after the earthquake. And then going through Ghostwire Tokyo at night with just everyone gone, an animal here or there, it was that eerie feeling, and that almost brought me back. I don't want to say, well, I guess I could say it's PTSD a little bit. It brought me back to that eerie feeling of Japan after Fukushima. And it grabbed me. There was something so, I know it's fanciful, but there was something so real about that for me that made me fall in love with the game in weird ways. And then the combat was dope. I love games where you can use your hands. I love playing Echo and Overwatch. Immortals of Avion was pretty awesome. And Ghostwire, there's something about spell casting in first person that's just awesome.
Yeah, the movement, the act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story was okay. It was all right. But when you went into some of those corridors, you were seeing MC Escher style effects going on, where things were shutting in on you. You didn't. What they did in some of those corridor regions with the effects when you're fighting certain bosses, grippy, dude. Yeah. And then Hi-Fi Rush was my game of the year last year. I'm too chicken shit to play Evil Within. I don't do horror games very well, but I've been wanting to because it's Tango. But then I go, ooh, this looks pretty rough. So, but I'm not a horror fan. I'm a wiener. But yeah.
Cork, you want to go?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just getting some of the stuff. As you can see down here, there is some gameplay being shown of Ghostwire Tokyo. So I just wanted to get that on. This is provided by kind of like a little thing on the fly. It is MK Ice and Fire. They're doing a full gameplay playthrough. And yeah, so that's there. Yeah, so I mean, Tango, I'm bummed about it. I've definitely, I think, been more on the, I think on the opposite side of it, where I understand it as a developer and as a business. I'm gutted by it, you know, where I think they should have given it more time, but I understand why they did what they had to do. It's something that, you know, especially if you have 4 or 5 projects you're bouncing around, that costs money to keep investing in that. That costs money to keep basically to keep that process going, because you have to pay for concept art, you have to pay for somebody to start writing narratives, to start designing a world, and if you got 3 or 4, you're basically designing 3 games at the same time. And then if there's no vision for them, if you don't have somebody that's there, like Mikami, that's driving that's basically driving a vision to where they want to go, it's hard to really solidify. So now you're just wasting even more money, because you have no idea where you're going, you have no release schedule, you have nothing that's going on. But I mean, who knows exactly that's what's happening per Booty. That's what it was. I'm still gutted by it, but I understand why they went with that decision. And I mean, it's just something that the industry sadly has been getting more and more swamped with. And it's just closing studios, laying off people. COVID was a massive part of that, on getting a giant hiring boost. And then now games are inflated, they're with this development costs, and they're just not seeing the ROI at the end. It's just capitalism, and that's what our system's based off. And it's a shitty, horrible system. But until a better one is taken over, it's just, we got to kind of take those punches, and it sucks. It just sucks. Q? Oh, I think your mic's muted, bud. I will fill in for Q. I agree with Korkenstein. He is a handsome gentleman, and he is right. And Gold Shell, he is awesome as well. I like that guy. Gold, do you want to take over for a bit? Or I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's fair to say that there's to blame it on capitalism, or do you think that Microsoft has enough money that they could have maybe spent a little more?
If there wasn't a rumored handheld in the works, I would say, okay, capitalism is at fault here.
Mm-hmm.
Check. Oh, here I go.
But if you have a handheld in the works,
interrupt. Go ahead.
A Tango game coming out to launch that new console,
mm-hmm.
or even something like that, I think it could have really appealed to the Japanese market a little bit. And I know they're getting support from other stuff, like Sega's full on now. There's a lot of Sega games in Game Pass. And let's also remember too, Bandai Namco has supported the Xbox. I know that there was that kerfuffle with Gundam, but for the most part, Bandai Namco supported Xbox. For the most part, I mean, hell, I played Tales of Arise for the first time this year. I stick that up with Final Fantasy IX, man. That was an excellent action RPG. Music was great. The story was incredible. But I don't know. I think they could have held Tango in their back pocket a little longer for that handheld.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion on that.
I think a big thing of that also was there's no DLC plans, it seems like. Like, I thought maybe they didn't think Hi-Fi Rush was going to get the explosiveness, popularity that it did. And I don't think they curved or adapted fast enough to be like, yes, let's get a DLC out. Let's get some music,
I can't hear.
We could hear you, bud.
We can hear you.
Yeah. So I think that's what it was.
We apologize, folks, for the technical difficulties.
We got some technical diffies going on right now. Yeah, it's just I think that's what it was. Like, I think if Hi-Fi had a DLC or like some kind of expansion plan or something more to boost that IP, like a TV show, it would justify the ROI. But it's a game that was critically acclaimed, but it was also a game that didn't really did it sell well? Was it a commercial success? It was a critically acclaimed success, but when you release on Game Pass and you don't have marketing behind it like they did a shadow drop. Was it a commercial success in the end? So that's what it is, you know.
You're coming in close. You're coming in low.
Can you hear us, Q? No, I will take that as a no. But I mean, we could hold down the show real quick. So yeah, I mean, I see the points. You know, I think it's just something that's very shitty on that at that end. Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to say what it is, you know, or what can. We're not privy to what is actually happening in that space.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the optics are really bad on it.
Mm-hmm.
They had just shut down Arcane, Austin.
Yeah.
People would have just said, "Oh, okay." But like you said, I mean, I don't know if you'd mentioned this on a Booms podcast or not, but you were talking about location. But then again, that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to really gauge, mainly because Xbox now just took over a bunch of studios out of Shanghai through Blizzard. So I don't know if that's a valid excuse either. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, we're not corporate suits, thankfully. But yeah, no, I agree with you on that. Do we want to jump into the Assassin's Creed?
If we can hear me, I want to talk about Tango real quick.
I'm sorry, what was that, Q? I can't hear you.
Can you not hear me? Oh,
no, I'm just joking.
Don't play with me. I hate you.
We got you. Yeah. Do you want to give your take on Tango?
Yeah, real quick. I didn't play the Evil Within 1 or 2 because I'm not going to say I'm chicken shit like Gold Shell did, because I can watch scary movies. I can watch scary movies. There's something about playing horror video games that, like, it's different. I can watch every scary movie there is, but I can't play them. And it's weird because I own so many of them. Like, I own all the mainline Dead Space games. I now own all of the Resident Evil remake games. And I probably won't play a single one of them because I don't like playing horror games. But so I only really jumped in on Tango in the back half. Ghostwire Tokyo, when it was shown, in 2018, 2019, was the first time that I was like, oh, this looks like something that I'm a rock with. And it being a PlayStation exclusive for the first year was a little bit upsetting to me. Actually, Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop being some of the games that this is the first time I was really excited about games coming from these studios. And then both of them were PlayStation exclusive, and that kind of upset me. But I really enjoyed Ghostwire Tokyo for some of the same reasons that Ghost Shell did, except for, it reminded me of Japan because I've never been there. Unfortunately though, the as great as the experience was, it was mired by like technical issues. Like I had stuttering out the wazoo, and just I would have loved if it would have came out more technically competent. Again, me on the same page as Gold, really. Hi-Fi Rush was one of my games of the year last year, and the only reason why it's not exactly that is because I really, really enjoyed Starfield. But yeah, I kind of really only jumped in on Tango with the second half, and like you were saying, Cork, I completely understand why the decision was made, but I also, like, it sucks. Not because they're this storied studio where I'm like, everything that they did was great, because I didn't play their first two games.
Yeah.
But because I saw with Ghostwire Tokyo, with Hi-Fi Rush, they were moving towards something that was more for me. Like, honestly, if they would have continued and did like an Evil Within 3, I would have been like, eh. But because we were getting rumors of a JRPG, because they were saying, hey, we want to make more than just horror games. That's what I was excited about. Unfortunate that we'll never get to see that happen, but it is what it is.
Oh, definitely fair. I mean, I'm looking at the gameplay below on PC, and it just looks gorgeous. So
the visually amazing. It's great. visually. And like I like once I started running around, it's one of the few map games where I enjoyed running around the map and doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Gold, did you want to take us into Assassin's Creed Japan? I see you moving over there, so if you need a little production time, that's totally cool.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm back. All right, so I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I can't get really into them. So I really don't really have a whole lot to say on Assassin's Creed. So I'm gonna kind of just uh give Q or Token the reins on this one.
Oh, I'm not that big of an Assassin's Creed fan either. I just thought it was appropriate for us to talk about it because we were talking about Japan and we were already talking about Square and Tango Gameworks. It just happened to line up with the topic that we already having.
Oh, I'm a massive Assassin's Creed fan.
Yeah, I will say though, I thought the trailer was dope.
You can see it below.
Yeah,
below.
Yeah. Anything them having Yasuke as a character, I saw it and I was like, yay! But then I immediately knew what the response was going to be once from a certain group of people on the internet once we saw Yasuke on there, not knowing that hey, this is an actual person. Which the thing that we should be talking about more so than, oh, why is there a black dude that he's not really a samurai, he's a retainer. No, the thing we should be talking about is the first time in an Assassin's Creed game that you get to play as an actual person that existed in history. You made up character, like obviously they're gonna embellish some of his history a little bit, but like you're playing as somebody that actually existed.
Yeah.
So people that are complaining that like he's in the game when he's actually a person that existed in that time frame, because him as a character being in it gives you a lot of detail about the time frame. You know, we already know it's gonna be in the Sengoku period. It's gonna be in the warring factions era. We know Oda Nobunaga is gonna be a big part of that. Which is why Yasuke's there in the first place. I just think the conversation around it, I knew what conversation was coming, but it's not the conversation that should be had. It's exciting for Assassin's Creed fans because people have been asking for Assassin's Creed Japan for forever and a half, and they finally did it. And you're going to be upset because one of the characters is an actual person that existed in that time frame and was a close person to like a very important central figure in Japanese history. Cool, people. Cool.
Yeah.
But let the Assassin's Creed fan talk about this game coming up.
Yeah, no, definitely. The controversy behind it is all in bad faith. You know, I'm not too familiar with him. I mean, it's kind of I from what I've understood, it's kind of not ambiguous kind of figure. There's a known figure of him, but like the actual like in-depth details are still a little like sketchy on it, which makes it for the perfect character to put into an Assassin's Creed game, because you don't want to misappropriate somebody's history to push a new narrative for a video game. That's not cool, dude. You know, it's not cool, Butters. So like it's kind of a bad spot for people to take. I mean, most of this stuff is, you know, when it comes to this kind of material, it's typical, just bad faith. I mean, you know, and I'd rather have somebody take a character like him and really do something with it that's going to be meaningful and powerful and really prop up that culture and that history. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We haven't played the game yet, but I think the people making big stinks about this are just doing it in 100% bad faith, like most Twitter trolls do.
And I think we might, unless Ubisoft does like their own like forward or whatever later this summer, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see gameplay for Assassin's Creed Shadow at the showcase. Just because Ubisoft and Xbox have always had like a good relationship with them showing off stuff. They showed off Star Wars Outlaws earlier. I think they didn't show Avatar, but that's cool. I remember the Division being shown. I was super hyped for the Division when the Division was first shown. It wasn't exactly what it was when they first showed it, but they have a good relationship with Ubisoft. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw gameplay for Assassin's Creed Shadows at the showcase in June.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
See Splinter Cell too.
Oh, we will 100% see Splinter
I'll
Cell.
put that on my bingo card. So
you think for this showcase we'll see Splinter Cell?
I think so.
Oh, you got a lot of faith in Ubisoft, my guy.
I'm gonna double down. I think we see both Perfect Dark and Splinter Cell, and stealth players are going to be eating good. I'm pretty excited after that showcase.
Yeah, for Splinter Cell, I'm going to be with Gold on this. I'm 100% positive. I think we'll see a Splinter Cell trailer at Xbox, and then I think we see the gameplay at Ubisoft the next day, the Ubisoft Direct the next day. I mean, I can already vision like the trailer in my head. That just gives me goosebumps. If you don't mind, if we just have a quick second just to kind of go down real quick. So yeah, basically it starts off, fade into intro. It's looking over this desk and it's spanning out. There's a newspaper on it. It's like, nuclear warfare is hitting, either whatever country. As it slowly starts to pan out, there's bombs hitting, there's gunfire in the back. You're hearing explosions. There's rumblings. You see rocks falling or cement falling from whatever buildings inside they're in. It starts to pan up and then goes out into, and as it's lifting up, you're seeing soldiers running around, everything going, haywire. And then all of a sudden, as it starts to back out, the lights fade to black. And then you just hear, the night vision come in, and you see the 3 dots. And then it's just absolute chaos. You're seeing gun muzzle, but as the muzzle's firing, you're seeing this grizzlied Sam Fisher, doing these, and you're just seeing him move around in all these different spots of the map in this little square spot. And then finally the backup power comes on, the lights come on, and he's not there anymore. But there's like desks broken, there's equipment firing, on fire, there's bullet holes everywhere. And then, the light on top, you just see it swinging, and then it's just like pops, and then it's Splinter Cell 2025. Like that just gives me goosebumps. I don't know about you, but
if the trailer is anywhere near that, you're now going to be Insider Korkenstein, right?
Yeah, I know, right? If that actually is the trailer, and that would be insane. What did you say, Gold?
I said, see more at Ubisoft Forward.
Yeah, see more at Ubisoft Forward. Like, I don't know, that just gives me goosebumps. That trailer, just envisioning it in my head gives me goosebumps. Sorry, I kind of took us down a different path.
We good.
Well, we're talking Ubisoft. But
yeah.
One thing on the Assassin's Creed thing, real quick. The controversy around it's kind of weird. Whatever, as long as it's fun.
Yeah.
Cork, it fits because they did talk about Shadows having more of a stealth element to it, and a lot of what they said in like the little blurb about it seemed very Splinter Cell-esque. So I think maybe not say, because I don't think they're not the same teams, but I think if people like the stealth that they see in Shadows, we would see something similar to that, because it seems like Ubisoft likes to have their team share kind of tech and techniques and stuff. So if the stealth is good in Shadows, then the people that are looking forward to Splinter Cell probably have a lot of good stuff to look forward to.
I do want to read some of the chat real quick. So Sir Bloodraven said most things greater than Soma. They had ramen for dinner last night. Should have waited for today. They did say have a great show, guys. Bugs said faith in Ubisoft never good. LOL. Roman Prince defending Soma is the best game ever made, and if you think otherwise, you're probably a bad person. Boogster with the retort, I'd rather be a bad person than like Soma. Roman, you are a bad person. You too. We got a little epic war going on in the chat between Bugs and Roman, but just wanted to make sure you guys are felt appreciated and known. We do thank you guys for being here. Please hit the like button down below. It would be something really great. Every chat, every like, every sub basically counts as one view. So if you're viewing and you're watching, that counts as a view. You know, things like that. If you hit the like, it counts as a view. So it all provides, or it all pushes us more towards discoverability. So the more you interact in the chat, the more you like and stuff like that, our videos, the more we get pushed to the front page. So, I mean, definitely an end goal. But, you know, I'm not saying, you know, a couple is going to do that right now, but every little bit helps. So thank you guys for being here and having this awesome conversation in the chat. Gold, to you.
Our goals. Honestly, my goal with this channel is 1,000.
I mean,
I'm pretty happy with the 1,000.
That's possible.
Just enough to get a live chat going and you know, a fairly substantial one. Not that I don't appreciate who's in there now, because we actually play with them. So good folks. Thanks for coming in and keeping the conversation going.
I mean, it's okay if you think Bugs is wrong and Gears is mid. It's fine. It's okay.
Hey, yo, we will never have Gears slander on Game Pass Gumbo. I am saying that right now. We will not have Gears slander on Game Pass Gumbo.
I agree. I really like Gears. I really do. I'm hoping we get to see 6 at the showcase. Speaking of showcase.
Yeah. I think let's save our showcase stuff for later, because we do need to do like an episode on showcase.
Thank you, Roman. He says I'm a genius. Bookster tells me to shut up. So there we go. Sorry. Did you guys want to go into Square Multiplat?
I'll let Gold start.
Yeah, Gold. This is all you, bud.
All right. Where? Thank you. That's what I'm going to say. That is most of my PlayStation nostalgia was Square.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII was, it was okay. Final Fantasy IX is my favorite Final Fantasy ever. 10, and I played a few more Square games, but here recently they've been in bed with Sony, which is fine, I guess. But now it's coming out that wasn't such a smart decision. I understand why a first party makes their games exclusive. I get it. And even that's a conversation coming up here soon with Sony talking about their out of boundaries or whatever show.
Beyond the boundaries.
Beyond the boundaries. You know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But third party going exclusive? I don't know, man. I never understood that. I know Xbox has been a contention because, you know, supposedly we don't buy games. I mean, I bought Sandland and Pac-Man. I gave Bandai Namco about $80 in the past week. So don't tell me I don't spend money.
The only people that buy more games than us are Nintendo fans. The Xbox buys, on average, more games than PlayStation. But anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So you put your games on Xbox, I'll play them. I'm definitely going to be buying. And during their showcase where they snuck drop in, they did a little sneak attack, let me get the thing,
receiving incoming transmission.
Whoops.
Coming in, showing us Visions of Mana.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they sitting there basically telling us Xbox fans how great it is. It's action RPG. It's an old franchise called Final Fantasy Adventures that they went into Visions, and they basically sold the game to me. I was kind of on the fence about it, and then they came in and said, "Hey, you'll like this." So I was definitely planning on getting Visions of Mana anyways, but we'll get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I played Final Fantasy Remake on PC on Epic Game Store, loved it. Sick of waiting for PC ports. And then Final Fantasy 16 looks a lot of fun. I know there was a controversy about it being a one-button slasher, but I like Devil May Cry, so I'm gonna eat that shit up. We already got 14 on there. The reason I'm not playing 14 is I'm already playing MMO Warcraft, so I'm gonna stick with that. But some of what I played with 14 was awesome, and was there a significant increase when it hit Xbox?
Yes, I believe so. I think it saw some really positive numbers from what I kind of read and saw. I don't think we got exact numbers. I think there's like, oh, there's just a combined player base now, and then people extrapolated from that what the number was possibly, but I don't think we ever got confirmed this is how many players are on Xbox.
So then, and when Final Fantasy 14 got announced for the Xbox, Phil showed up, and I forgot what the new CEO's name is, but I know Yoshi P. They all get together and grab Phil aggressively and take a picture, saying, "We're going to support Xbox more. We're going to support Xbox more." And you're sitting there going, "All right, we'll see." And now with this press release coming out saying, "Hey, we're going multi-plat because this is what we need to do to survive," that warmed my heart. I go, "All right, they delivered." So more Final Fantasy on Xbox, more Visions on Xbox. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about Square.
Q?
I don't care. They made their bed. You can sleep in it.
Oh man!
All I wanted from Square ever, all I wanted from them, because I've always been like, I've never beaten any Final Fantasy game. The closest I've ever gotten to was Final Fantasy X, and then I found out years later that I was nowhere near beating it. I just thought I was near beating it. So, but I've tried so many Final Fantasy games and just couldn't get through it. And you know what game was going to be like this is it. This is the one that I'm going to play and get through. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Where that at, though? Where that at? So they can sleep in their bed. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah,
Bookster says based Q.
I think it's good for the fans. Like, I wasn't kidding in saying that I kind of don't really. For me personally, it's going beyond the point. I've been on Xbox since 2008, and like they've been very like. I never liked how Square has been very like, oh, we'll put a game here and then like never mind, that'll be exclusive and then that'll be on Nintendo and in the same franchise. Like, why are you like divvying up where games go in the same game franchise? Like they do that a lot with there's like exclusive Final Fantasy games on Nintendo consoles. There's like exclusive Final Fantasy games on PlayStation consoles, and then there's like some that make it multiplayer. I've never been a fan of that way of releasing games because the inconsistency, especially for somebody on one of the platforms that they support the least, makes me not want to buy your games. Like, I don't know when the next game is going to come to my platform. And if I'm not a multi-platform gamer, I play on Xbox. I just recently started playing more on my laptop because I can stream games, and I got games that I can play through my laptop because it's not a full piece of crap, but it's not a gaming laptop. But and I've been using cloud gaming, so I game on my my handheld, which is just a phone with a Razer Kishi. And that's kind of how that's how I game, and I've been a one console gamer for like 20 years at this point almost. It's always been inconsistent. And in order for me to care about them putting their games on Xbox is them showing consistency. And them saying that they're going to show consistency isn't them showing consistency yet. And, excuse me, one of the things that I would like to see with consistency is a lot of these games that have already skipped the platform to come to the platform. Don't promise me, oh, well, going forward, we'll give you more games. No, what about the ones that we still don't have yet? So bring those over and we'll talk, right, about me being excited about Square being on Xbox. Bring over Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth and whatever the third one's going to be. Bring over Final Fantasy 16. Bring over Forspoken.
Foam stars, baby. Foam stars.
Bring over these games that you've had skip the platform before I can get excited about you bringing games to the platform that I haven't played yet, especially because like my co-host on Xbox Mojo, Thomas, when we were talking after we did the direct video, we were talking about Visions of Mana. One of the things he was talking about, and it wasn't necessarily my opinion, but I thought it was funny that he said, he's like, "Oh yes, Square, thank you so much for showing us all the games that aren't on Xbox," when they were doing the whole Mana thing, because they're like, look at the history of Mana and all these games in the Mana series, like 15 games in the Mana series that you can't play. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm done.
No, it's definitely fair. I mean, there's a lot of animosity, I would say, because of burned bridges by Square and being money headed. So I think you're 100% valid in feeling the way that you do. I do want to read before I go into my opinion. Roman says Token is exclusively a Game Boy Micro gamer, and Monkey versus Tramp says hello. Well, thank you, Monkey, for being here. We appreciate you. Yeah. So with this,
what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, this is my theory, and I think this is a great move by Square. It may be a little too late. We will see what it does for them in the long run and what they can do. I think they needed to offer an olive branch. They had to do something to get Xbox gamers back onto Square-Enix, because as of now, there's going to be a lot of people that will probably buy it still, but I don't think they would have gotten the return they would have without offering something to show good faith to Xbox. And that's why you had Phil come out, and then that's why they announced Final Fantasy 14 for Xbox. And I think if they could, they would have done Rebirth. They would have done the remake. But because of current contract obligations, they had to go with the next best thing. And since Final Fantasy 14 Online was in development for Xbox and being worked on for years, I think what?
10.
Yeah, for Xbox, it was 2018, 19, I think there was the rumors. And then that's when they had the whole server issues that Microsoft wanted to have it on their servers or things like that. That's why you have the money issue with Final Fantasy 14. There's a little weirdness going on with there. I don't think it was the best way to release Final Fantasy 14 for Xbox, but that was on Xbox, not Square. But side point, I don't know if we'll get Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth. I think the old CEO sold them down the river on that. And before Jim Ryan left, before he was forcefully removed, I think he I think he's out of there. Yeah, I think he money hatted them, and the previous CEO took what he could before he got fired. And who knows what we'll see. Supposedly internal, there's rumors that Square-Enix is looking to buy themselves out of that contract. But I mean, at that point, you got to see what's the ROI. Why spend millions to get out of a contract? Why spend 100 million to get out of a contract when it's only going to make you 10 in the long run? You just wasted $90 million for nothing. So who knows? Who really knows how long, now that this Jim Ryan stuff is gone, the old CEO's gone, maybe 3 might be on the table. They could do a whole, supposedly it was supposed to be a limited release, and then it just kept being pushed back. And now who knows, maybe that marketing contract is done with, and they could start bringing it over with 3, do one last, a trilogy, buy all 3 games on Xbox starting today, when the new one comes out. But again, who really knows on the inside details of that? But I think this is a healthy move.
We might see in 2026 is what you're saying. We might see in 2026 that we get the Final Fantasy 7 trilogy.
I think we might see it like 27, 28. I think it'll be on the.
So I was being nice.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see it later than that. I don't think. I think it's gonna take Square a little while to get this going, and then to finish. I mean, it took them 3 years, 4 years to get the next installment out for Rebirth.
It did actually.
Yeah. So I think we'll see possibly on new consoles, next gen consoles. We'll see the 3rd one, and they'll probably do a remake of that for get next gen. Who knows, but we'll see. But I do think it is going to come to Xbox eventually. It's just not going to be in a time frame most people will like or really care about, unless there's some kind of next gen buy-in for them. You waited this long. It's now on next gen consoles, the Xbox Series, 5,000. We'll see what happens.
I will say, if we're not getting Final Fantasy VII remake, the way to get me to care about Square-Enix again, and like I said, this is the one that I got the furthest in.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a multi-plat Final Fantasy X remake.
Yeah,
That you might catch me with. You catch me with a Final Fantasy X remake that's on everything.
I mean, nothing's off the table. I mean, seeing the success of 7, especially when they open it up to Xbox, who's to say 8, 9, 10, isn't on the table. Gold, you were going to say something?
Let's talk about 9. 9 was part of the NVIDIA leak.
And that's been fairly accurate so far, right?
That has. And Final Fantasy 9 is my favorite Final Fantasy of all time. Okay, so maybe I'll play Rebirth on PC. But I know I say in my heart that Final Fantasy 9 remake's definitely coming to Xbox. Because I don't think that was snatched up. I don't believe that was snatched up for the Sony exclusive. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling it wasn't. Because if all the single-player Final Fantasies were under contract, why did Crisis Core show up on Xbox?
Well, it's a fair point.
That's what makes me think that Final Fantasy IX is definitely coming to Team Green.
And there was a remake being done by a fan. They were bringing it back, a fan remake, and that was shut down. My friend Sarah Daniels was actually a voice for, I can't remember the magician, the little guy, the wizard. Huh?
Vivi.
Vivi, there we go. She voiced them.
He was part of the Black Mage.
Yeah.
Oh.
She voiced them in the fan remake. She did like just some minor lines and stuff like that, but it was like they had to come back out, I believe, and be like, "This is just a fan thing. We're not releasing this." They went legal with it real quick. So I wouldn't doubt.
Somebody hit them with an email like, "Hey, cut that out."
Yep. So you only do that. You gotta read between the lines. Is if Square-Enix has plans. So just a little take.
Kind of what I think.
The plan won't be to split it up into 3 games anymore.
Hopefully, Square Enix offers her a voiceover job. I really hope the best. You said her, right?
Yeah, her, Sarah. Yeah, she's a predominant. Yeah. She's a pretty big streamer and stuff like that now, and she does a lot of like Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. She's pretty known. She gets invited out to like Destiny was a big thing for her as well. So. Yeah, so she's known.
Excellent.
Japanese food.
Japanese food.
I know Q. You said you have something coming up, right? That you gotta head to.
Yeah, I'm. If he's still in the chat, my frat brother is getting married next year, and I'm in the wedding party, so we're doing like a wedding party dinner, lunch.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I'm headed off to.
Okay, then yeah, we could kind of wrap pretty soon. I think you got like 12 minutes is perfect enough time.
Yep.
So in the Google Drive, I put 2 things that I made. So Japanese food, you can go to a lot of the restaurants around here, but it doesn't have a lot of the stuff that I fell in love with over there. I have been having trouble finding takoyaki, okonomiyaki, and pork katsu, which has a Japanese golden curry. So I said, screw it, I'm gonna make it myself. So here I did okonomiyaki. It's on the title card. It's basically a pancake with a bunch of vegetables in it, and it's got an okinomi Japanese barbecue sauce with a QP mayo on top, and you put bonito flakes. So savory, so awesome.
Oh, I remember when you made that. You put it in the cooking channel.
Exactly. So
that's the coleslaw, right?
Coleslaw. I went ahead and made a Japanese style coleslaw.
Okay.
Which what I did was put up a pan, put some oil in it, put some onions, coleslaw mix, and brown sugar to caramelize it. And then once it's said and done, I drained the oil just a little bit, and then I put it on top, and I do that sort of pattern with the QP mayo and the okonomi sauce on the other side little bonito flake, made sort of a really savory okonomiyaki inspired coleslaw.
Okay.
And then the other, it's an easy way to get that flavor. So okonomi sauce was one of the flavors I missed from that region. The other one I got here is pork chop katsu. So I'm in the mindset. I've
heads
tried
up
a lot
real quick,
of
Gold. Just a heads up. I added another picture too of the thick pork cut like curry kind of next to it as well, just so people can kind of see some stuff too, different ones, because I was going to talk a little bit about that.
So the one on the right here is I got this quite a bit in Japan. It was called Coco's Curry House, and they had that pork katsu. And Japanese curry to me feels more like a gravy, and it is the best around. I've tried many curries. I traveled Asia quite a bit, and that was my opinion the best curry. And on the left here, my wife and I did a breaded pork chop with panko, and then we put the store-bought Japanese golden curry on top with white rice. Ooh, kore wa oishii desu ne. Or no, kore wa oishii desu yo. Man, that hit the spot.
Oh yeah.
And that brought better flavor. So okonomiyaki is something you'll find more in the Kansai region, less so than the Kanto region. And by that I mean you're going to find that more on the Osaka, Kyoto side than you'll find it in Tokyo, because Tokyo is a metropolis and it does anything. But that's a more savory home's comfort food from the western style of Japan, more so than what you find in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two things that I've learned how to cook. One, it's cheaper to cook for yourself than go to a restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Always.
But to get those flavors that you don't find in a lot of Japanese restaurants. I mean, they have, tempura, sushi, stuff like that. But it's rare that I can find the takoyaki and okonomiyaki stuff, and even katsu in this region.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's different for y'all because you're on the coastlines, but here in middle U.S.,
I bet
it's a little bit harder to find. But
yeah.
I'll
So
go ahead and turn it to you.
When I did my my stint in San Francisco a little bit for work earlier this year and last year, San Francisco has some of the best Asian cuisine I've ever had. I would say New York and San Francisco both. Their just Asian scene is phenomenal. I had what was on the right, the pork katsu curry. And that was just mind blowing, because up here, I mean, you would think LA would have something kind of similar. Maybe I just haven't found it in over here in Little Tokyo in LA, but it's just been mind blowing what I had in San Francisco. And yeah, that was just delicious. I do actually have here, you mentioned it and I brought it up for a quick second, takoyaki, which I absolutely love. You can find this a lot here in LA and pretty much everywhere, as it's real easy. It's a wheat flour based kind of baked good with, like, usually taco is octopus. So that's usually what that is. It's a little, you put little dices of octopus in there with some bonito flakes on top, and then cover it with like a Worcestershire sauce, but it's not. It's like the Japanese version of it.
It's the okonomi sauce.
Yeah, the okonomi. Yeah,
same sauce I was talking about. Though they have takoyakis, they have takoyaki sauce and okonomi sauce, but
yeah,
I find the flavors to be very similar. That's something that's something that I found quite a bit on Japanese. That and yakitori, which are little kebabs and stuff like that. If you I just had a pocket full of yen, walking around after drinking a chuhai or whatever in Yokosuka, walking back to my house, and you just go by and like, oh, takoyaki, sweet, arigato, and then just as your way home, you got these street vendors and grabs. So takoyaki, yeah, I agree with you on that. That one's great food when you're drinking.
Yeah, I do actually have a funny story about this. I'm trying to find the name of the restaurant here. Where did I find it? They have one in New York, and they have something that's called takoyaki roulette. And basically what they do is they give you like 8, dang it, I can't believe I can't. I think it's called kenshi. Kensi, but I can't remember exactly. But they have something called takoyaki roulette, and basically you ask for it, and then what it is, 5 of them are octopus. The last one is wasabi filled. So you don't know which one you're getting. So
that'll clear the sinuses.
Yeah,
Completely.
For sure.
I made the mistake and thought it was I thought they were gonna it was like a separate dish, but no, they brought it out with the regular takoyaki, and I didn't know, and my girlfriend didn't know. She was on the bad side of that. She got the short straw on that.
No.
Yeah, so all of a sudden she takes, she eats the whole thing, because they're not big. Some you'll get really big, some you'll get really small. But yeah, she inhaled the whole thing, and all of a sudden I just see chew, just red and sweat. And I was like, are you okay? Are you choking? What's going on? And then, yeah, I was like, oh my God, that's right. The takoyaki roulette. I can't believe I forgot about that. So yeah, it's
was it real wasabi, or was it the stuff that they pass as wasabi quite a bit?
No, this place is
colored horseradish.
No, this place is legit Tokyo Fair food and stuff like that.
Okay. So pricey then. Because I hear wasabi's really hard to get a hold of for the real stuff.
No, yeah, they I mean, it's New York, so they probably get cheaper. So for New York,
gotcha.
They have a little bit better. I mean, almost everybody eats out in New York, so food is generally a little cheaper than it would be here in LA and stuff. What I found, because most people use their kitchens in New York to store clothes and stuff like that. Because of how small some of the buildings, you'll open up somebody's oven and it has pants or storage for other stuff in certain areas, in certain boroughs of New York. But yeah, so that's
not a lie.
Yeah. So it's cool. I'm gonna find it real quick. If somebody doesn't mind taking over real quick, I'm gonna find the name of the restaurant and see if I can find it.
Okay, yeah, I can go into my Japanese food thing then while you're looking for that. Yeah, you guys have made me be I gotta eat more Japanese food. You're talking about stuff that I know about, but I haven't had experience being here, not being to the country. Is mostly in the area we have hibachi and sushi places. I love sushi. I try to go to the sushi spot as often. I don't go weekly, but I go fairly often. And going to Japanese restaurants and eating the food there is how I started trying some different stuff, especially seafood. So calamari. My first time having calamari was at a Japanese restaurant. My first time having octopus was at a Japanese restaurant. I love eel rolls. So when I get sushi, I like getting the eel because I don't know what it is about the taste that I get from the eel, but I love the taste and I love the sauce that they put on it for the sushi. Have hibachi. I've had pork cutlet before. Ramen. There was a ramen spot in one of the casinos near where I live that was it was called it's called Okashi. It's called Okashi, and it was hidden. There was a storefront that it looked like a candy store. So it was Japanese sweets in there, and you could in a register and stuff. You could just go into the little storefront and just buy Japanese candies and call it a day. But there's a little door there, and when you open up the door there, you walk down this little corridor, and it's a whole restaurant hidden behind this little Japanese candy store corridor in this building. And it was it had a nice, real chill vibe. They had great fried chicken, and I had I had a couple different ramen bowls there. So I had they had is it called tonkatsu pork ramen? It's the pork bone broth ramen that I had. That was I watched an anime that was specifically about this dude loving tonkatsu pork ramen. So I was like, oh, let me try this out because they made a whole anime about it, and I was like, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't mind blowing or anything. But I had different styles of ramen there. I had several different types of Japanese whiskey there. Really, really cool setup for that place. And unfortunately, COVID gave it the axe. So, but that's basically my experience: sushi places, hibachi bars, and this really cool ramen spot in my area. But I know next time that I go to a Japanese restaurant, I'm gonna have to move out of my tried and trues and try something different. So I can add more to the conversation other than be like, yeah, I eat sushi here and there.
So, two things. Minasan, hashi shimasu ka? And that basically means, shimas means to use. Do any of you use chopsticks? Hashi
Yes.
is the Japanese word for chopsticks. I've been trying to teach my daughter.
Yeah.
And it's been a rough go because she's my oldest daughter's the only one. She's getting really in the Japanese culture, and every birthday she wants to go to hibachi, and I've been trying to teach her to use chopsticks. That's been a process, but I've gotten really proficient when I was living over there. So learning the whole custom of not sticking your hashi in your rice. You got to lay it on top or lay it on the side as food manners. Yet slurping your soup, your miso soup, really loudly was a gesture of
the food being good.
Goodwill, food being good over there.
Mm-hmm.
So
see, that would annoy the crap out of me.
Sometimes the ramen places I couldn't hear it because of the pachinko machines in the other room. Ding, 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 ching, and you just see all the smoke fly out. Because that's the one thing when I was in the Sega arcade, I was just walking through trying to get to the Sega Building 2 in Akihabara. So you would have to, if I remember correctly, you had to pass through 3 floors of pachinko, and you just have to go. There's just smoke flying everywhere. And then, second, I'll talk about green tea. I know I'd mentioned that on or ocha. It's the drink that it's made me lose weight twice. I watched a video. I'll put a link in the description later on this video. This guy by the name of Dr. Mike. He talks about the health benefits of green tea. And I'm not talking about sugar, just straight green tea. Steeped in for about 2 minutes. I got a really good brand that I get at the local international market. And there's a couple things. Now, a lot of these are correlation, not causation, but the health benefits of green tea, one of them is the catechins in green tea can kill bacteria that causes bad breath and plaque. So that's good for your teeth. Thenines, L-thenines, I'm probably messing that up. Thenines, whatever, helps with anxiety. There's another feature of lowers blood pressure. And then this is the big one that they talk about with green tea, is the polyphenols. One of the benefits is it helps repair free radical damage. And free radical damage, and this is the antioxidants, free radical damage is actually part of one of the reasons to increase your risk of cancer. So, not to mention the metabolism boost, I think once I started going back to drinking green tea every day in September, I've dropped about 34 pounds.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Ridiculous. Yeah. And it's an acquired taste. You have to drink 1 cup every day. But yeah, that's one thing I definitely took away from Japan as far as a drink goes, is I've added that to my rotation. I'll have a coffee in the morning, no sugar, none of that, just straight black coffee. And then throughout the day, I'll bring the bags of green tea at work, and we have a Keurig, and I just let it steep in there for about 2 to 3 minutes and drink it, and helps my anxiety, gets me a little bit of a nice boost, not a jittery boost that you would get from coffee, because the amount of caffeine in green tea is far less than coffee. So if you're wanting to lose weight, get a little bit of lower your anxiety, I would highly recommend just going to a local international market, picking up some no shit green tea, ocha, drink 1 cup a day, and see how it works.
Yeah, I like green tea. I drink a lot when I was in the army because I had to do a little bit better being fit than what I was now. Green tea was definitely on my regiment of this is what I do every day for work. Like drink like a protein shake, do my workout in the morning, come back, drink some green tea, go to breakfast, etc. So forth. So green tea was part of my healthy living style before when I had to be healthy. I should get back to drinking green tea. Maybe I need to lose 30 something pounds. Get ready for this wedding that I just mentioned earlier.
There you go, Professor Goldshell dropping some knowledge on us. I can't find the restaurant. I know it's over by Little Ukraine. I do want to shout out to Elijah that says greetings from New York. I guess Monkey versus Tramp was there as well. Maybe Elijah might know over on the east side Manhattan. There's a Japanese restaurant. I think it starts with a K. It's like this little tiny hole in the wall. You have to go down. You wouldn't even know if it's there. You know, it's like that's like how small it is. But some of the best Japanese food I've had.
Monkey versus Tramp was talking about he was in Japan. I think him and Gochel had that conversation before that they both been in Japan.
Oh, is that what he was saying? Oh, okay. I was there too, but okay. He was speaking to Goldshell. I thought he was talking to Elijah. My bad. So sorry.
I want to say hello to Monkey and Charles. Welcome.
Yeah. Yep. Charles is the person. Charles is my frat brother whose wedding I'm talking about. He said he also got to lose some weight for the wedding.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't find it unless Elijah knows what it is off the top of their head. I can't remember the name of it, but it's over by the Little Ukraine. There's actually a little Irish pub that's supposed to be like the oldest Irish pub in America. They give you McSorley's. That's the name of the Irish pub, McSorley's. They give you these two little beers, and yeah, they ask you, do you just want light beer, dark beer? And then if you say light, they give you two little tiny beers and give them to you, or dark, same thing, two little dark beers. Cool place. But yeah, it's right around the corner from there near Little Ukraine on the east side of New York. Delicious Japanese food. That's my story.
Nice.
All right, so Q, I know you got to go. Yep. It's been awesome. Look at another successful, awesome show about Japanese games and Japanese food with some healthy green tea knowledge from Professor Goldshell. So I think let's wrap it out with what we're going to be playing, and then Q can get on his way to. It's counterproductive. You're going to go to a wedding lunch and then you're like, I need to lose 30 pounds.
I need to lose 30 pounds by the wedding, which is next year. So I'm good on going to lunch today and then starve myself later. No,
there you go. But... Gold, what are you going to be playing today or this week?
Just real quick. Not sure what next week's schedule is going to be because I have an actual wedding to go to on Saturday. Not sure what our schedule is for the next episode or what it's going to be. I do want to talk Call of Duty and MREs in a future.
That'd be a great conversation about MREs.
Maybe let's see after the showcase.
You were in the Army. Yeah, and I was in the Navy, so we had our own version of MREs, so we'll talk about that in Call of Duty. I found that kind of appropriate. What I'm playing is probably going to level up in Warcraft and more Pac-Man.
Awesome. Q?
It's going to be more Fallout. It's going to be more Fallout until Tuesday, when I will be streaming me playing first time, going in blind straight onto the stream, Hellblade 2. So I don't have a time set yet. It'll probably be around like 1 p.m. Eastern. But it's not going to be I was going to wake up when the game first came out at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning my time. But then I decided, you know what? I want to do some streaming. And instead of just jumping straight into the middle of me playing Fallout 4, since Hellblade 2 is the next game that I'm starting from scratch, I want to start off by streaming that. So I'm going to do it a little bit later today instead of waking up 4 in the morning to play some of it. So that's what I'll be doing. Other than that, plan-wise, I think going to be jumping into the new season of Diablo 4 at some point. I don't see myself being like regularly always playing, and I know some people love like just grinding through it. I enjoy playing through the campaign. I enjoy the gameplay, and I'll probably dabble in the seasons here and there. But those games is kind of like a staple on my hard drive. So I'll like Fallout 4, I'll be playing through Hellblade 2, and then sometime during the week, but between now and our next show, I'll be hopping into the season 4 of Diablo 4. Excuse me.
Very nice. Elijah says Kimura. I don't think it was that one. I'm looking at it on YouTube. It seems, or not YouTube, on Yelp. It seems very familiar. Unless they changed the inside a bit, but it's like I said, it's been about a year since I've been there. But I don't think it was Kimura. It was a different restaurant that's on the east side. I just can't place my name on it. If I think about it, I'll get back to you guys. Actually, in the Discord, I'll tell you about it. I'll show some pictures. Rick. Hey, thanks, Rick. Thanks for joining in. We're just about to end. I will be doing Hellblade 2. I won't be streaming it. I'll create some assets for you this week. But yeah, pretty much probably more Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the weekend before Double XP runs out. And then I will be jumping over to Hellblade 2 as well.
If you stream again, let me know, because I will put the Chainsaw Massacre stream on. I may not jump in to play it with you, but I did actually enjoy watching you play through it last night. So I'll watch it, but I unfortunately I probably won't jump on with you, because it's so much stuff that I already have. Scheduled.
And there's a lot to grind as well in it.
Games that I'm playing, and I'm like, well, I gotta stick to my game schedule.
And there's a lot to grind on it as well, so it's going to be hard to jump in initially, because of just how long it's been out already, and people are already at level 99. So yeah, no, I totally get it. But yeah, you could watch me play poorly. I'll be on Boom, Breakfast with Boom again this Friday. As he mentioned earlier, I am now a permanent panel member. Other than that, I think we are good to end it. I know Q's got his stuff he has to go. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, eat, game, love, be happy, y'all. Have a good week. All right.
Peace.
Itadakimasu. Kampai. Have a good one. Sayonara.